how in the hell did I start grant writing, and how did I get into that world, and why the hell do I like to teach people about writing grants? The first thing I want to say is that my relationship with grant writing is not perfect. It doesn't fit neatly in a bow, or with a bow. I feel like, there's a lot of systems, all of the systems, right, that were founded on patriarchy and inequity and white supremacy, or kind of like capitalistic, mindset, authoritative, all of those types of systems, which is all of the systems in our country, in this US of A, maybe probably globally. They all got issues, obviously. And so for me, nonprofits were really founded almost, to be able to, for people who are wealthy, who have money, to give their money to a worthy cause, and in that way they instead of being taxed, they're able to give their money as a donation or a gift, and put it to a good cause. And so what had happened in the beginning of this history is that a lot of those foundations, those places that gave the money, were controlled, and the decision makers were people of means, people wealthy, or their friends, or their family, or whatever. So obviously, only certain organizations or people that were aligned and in proximity to those people got the money. And so fast forward to today, it's not very different. I think like some outrageous percent, like 98 or 99% of all funding, all donations go to organizations that are not POC led, or Black organizations. And so, it's a very hard pill to swallow and field to be in, because I know that there is inequity and injustice in those systems, and in the way that funds are given out. And I don't like it. And it's hard, to be doing that work sometimes and know that that's going on. However, I also believe that we have to deploy all tactics. And it's like my favorite quote from Cornel West that I heard from him in person when he spoke at Union College. But he said that, and it gave me a sense of ease about what we're doing and how we do it. And it's like there's not no one way to fight injustice or inequity. There's several different ways. There's several different roles. Everybody can have a role. Everybody can have a piece. Everybody can do their thing. Whether we're doing grant writing, whether we're organizing, whether we're voting, whether we're putting our money together, pooling our money together and buying property, whether we're farming, whatever it is, there's all these different avenues and lanes, and we must deploy all tactics. So that gave me a sense of ease, and that is really what I have to go back to when I feel overwhelmed with the different injustices and inequities in these different systems, but particularly with grant writing and fundraising and nonprofits. So, I originally was working at a foundation nonprofit right out of grad school. A few years back, I was there for 3 years, and I was in charge of the grant management programs and helping folks apply for grants and walking them through the process of being able to receive funding, and then, helping them do their reporting and stuff like that. And so what happened was I seen that there were very minimal POC organizations, leaders, Black organizations and leaders that, I could really just say non-white organizations and leaders that were not getting funding. And if they were getting funding, it was significantly less than their counterpart organizations. And most of that was tied into, the reasoning for that was because these other organizations, the POC organizations, Black organizations, non-white organizations, did not have as robust of an infrastructure as some of their counterpart organizations. So things like having an accountant or being able to use QuickBooks or having a board that people were familiar with the people on the board, or it's having a strategic plan or knowing how to adequately put a really good budget together. Some of these kind of like basic things were in the way of non-white organizations receiving funds. And it seems simple on the outside, but really on the inside, it's the same issue of non-white organizations not having as many resources as their counterparts, and also not having proximity to resources or people with certain skill sets, or people who are wealthy, right? Who can just like pay for an accountant, or their brother is an accountant, or their close friend is an accountant, or whatever, somebody who would volunteer and do the accounting for them for free, or so that really stuck with me, and I realized that I needed to do something differently. I wanted to see my people get money for their programs and their things that they wanted to do in the community that they were already doing with nothing, and that they deserved the resources and the same amount of support as their counterpart organizations. And I really felt like I had to be more accessible to people from this community, from my community, people that I knew, people that I supported and grew up with, and people who looked like me. I wanted to be more accessible because I knew that I had the skills to help them get where they needed to be within the work that they did. As far as like, things on paper, I'm an excellent writer. Writing is one of my strongest skills. I was gonna say maybe my first strongest skill, but maybe it's my intuition and then writing. But so yeah, and that really prompted me to leave my job on top of some other things, and I was like, I want to be helping people in my community to be able to access some of these funding sources and resources, and be able to really build capacity in their organizations and their work. And I've been doing that, and I've done that for about 5 years now. And I just feel like that is important for me to contribute in that way. And I feel like we need more grant writers. We need people. We don't need grant writing to be like a specialty in our communities. We need a bunch of people to know how to write grants. And so it's like, if this person can't do it, that person can do it. It's not such a hard thing to find somebody to write a grant, or that we have to pay somebody to come from outside of our community to write a grant for us to get money. And so I kind of set out on that, and haven't really looked back. And it's really going great. Outside of like sometimes it being tough with the issues in the systems, it's really going great because I get to meet a bunch of people who are doing amazing things, who have amazing hearts, who are just talented, and they're ready to work and put their visions and their dreams and ideas out into this world and spread love and joy and positivity. And it feels really great to be able to connect with those type of people, and to think that a grant writing seminar is going to help to push them, sorry, not push them, I think it does push some people, but help to propel them into the work that they are already doing. And I didn't really envision that part of it when I started doing this. So now that like I get to connect to all these different people around grant writing, but more so around their dreams and their purpose work, it's very fulfilling, it's humbling, it's beautiful, and I'm super grateful to be able to do it. I'm trying not to flash y'all. So yeah, that is the story of how I got into grant writing and why I do it. And one of my many roles and titles, and I thought I would just share that with y'all and with myself, because I needed to hear it. I needed to dialogue about it. And I hope it was interesting for you, and thank you for listening. And I'm gonna continue to hammer out my roles and talk about them more for myself, but I'll share them with you all, whoever is listening. And yeah, that's all. Night.